Oh, good. So I live here now, and you've lived here for like, what, 40 years?
I lived a really long time. I raised my kids here. I love it here.
I know.
How old are your
magical.
kids?
7 and 9.
Oh, it's a great age for the city. It really is.
What was it? Because I love them actually growing up here. They're actually pretty bold even on a subway. Like they can like do things. I feel like they're more independent here.
Also, there's so much to do. I mean, the museums are amazing. The Museum of Natural History and the planetarium and all the playgrounds.
We go there, I swear, like once every 2 weeks.
And there's this stone slide, actually. I don't know if you know about that. Like right north of Central Park Zoo. And the kids take pieces of cardboard and they go down really fast.
Oh, my kids never done that.
But anyway, I mean, there's just so much here. I love it. I love this city. I love living here.
You obviously live in like a fabulous place now. You've had like such an illustrious career. But do you remember your first place here?
Oh my gosh, I sure do. It was on East 38th Street and 2nd Avenue. And it was a walk-up. It was a studio apartment, and it didn't really have a kitchen. It had an alcove, and there was a little half refrigerator, and then like 2 burners on top of the refrigerator. So if you cooked anything, it would melt the ice in the refrigerator. So I didn't cook much, and it was right by the Midtown Tunnel, so everybody thought I was a flight attendant. Because you could get out to LaGuardia quickly that way.
Oh my God, I lived like right by a highway in LA, and I actually liked it because every traffic was so horrible, but I could get to work in like 4.5 minutes.
Location.
Yes.
That's what they say.
I don't care. Taking all the exhaust in my lungs. You grew up all over the world, though. I didn't realize you were a military kid, right?
I was.
So what was like one of your favorite places you lived?
I love living in Germany. That was exciting.
I love Germany.
Yeah, Germany was really cool. I went to high school in Frankfurt. And it was a wonderful time to be there. I was a teenager. I had a lot of freedom. I could,
Was that hard, though, like making new friends in each place?
It is hard. It's actually easier. I was in a mixture of like public schools and also schools that were just for like for military kids.
Oh, so they were probably used to it.
Kids who were used to moving around were much friendlier. They really were, because they were always the ones who were the outsiders.
In the same boat.
So, yeah.
Yeah. What a cool experience, though. Like, my kids are always asking us to go, like, this summer. They're like, can we go somewhere? And I'm like, I need you to know that this is not a normal lifestyle. Like, people can just fly off and go to different countries.
Exactly.
It was not my childhood. But it's cool to get that kind of culture. Like, because I feel like I grew up in, like, a small bubble in the South. And so when I was 19 and got to go outside of it, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's a different experience. I think for me, that was what was interesting, having been kind of all over the U.S. and all over the world with my family. That was why I think that's why I love New York so much, because I finally found the place that I wanted to be. And I could travel around from here, but this is the one place I know, after having seen a lot, where I want to live.
Yeah, well, because like everyone's here. Yeah. It's amazing. Well, you just posted this, you and your son coming back from a Knicks game on the subway.
Son.
I can't even imagine my 7-year-old son being a man. It's so crazy. Like, he was a little boy at one point.
That's right, and now he is 6'2".
He has grown, and you're going to dinners with his girlfriend.
That's right.
I want to vomit.
I know, he's 26 years old. He's really an awesome kid. And my daughter is 21, and she's a senior in college. And so, yeah, they grow up.
Wait, so you're like an empty nester. Do you feel like you're getting like your life back a little?
You know, it's the funny thing is that you do have a lot of time to kind of, meander around like you didn't when you had little kids. But I miss having them around. And also, they're going to be back. My son lives here. My daughter's coming back after school. So it's sort of the best
you're a great
of both
mom.
ways.
They want to be near you. Yeah.
Or maybe it's just, I don't know, the location. I don't know.
No, I'd say I'd filter it as you're awesome. So do you get recognized? I love taking the subway, and people are always surprised when I say I take it, but I don't look like this on the subway.
Right.
This is
I
all
take
fake.
it all the time.
Nobody ever recognizes me.
Well, also because you can get everywhere in seconds, right?
Yes.
And people are minding their own business, and I think when they do see you, they're just like, hey, what's up? But it's not a
very
big
chill.
deal. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish we would have had something like that in Texas. Like to grow up like that with.
Did you learn how to drive really young?
Yes.
In Texas? I can remember driving with my brother right after I got my driver's license, and I was going too fast over construction, and he was much younger, and he just ducked down. He just lay down. He lay back in the seat like this, so he didn't have to see what I was doing. I was like, I'm okay, I got this, don't worry.
That was the Mary and George. You can see it on Stars. Look, I've seen the first 3 episodes. It is so good.
Aw,
I always try and watch something when someone comes on. I was like, okay, I got to at least watch 1 episode. And then I couldn't stop. I kept like watching and watching, needing to know.
Thank you, that's so nice of you.
I know, it's Mary and George are based off historical figures, but tell everybody kind of the gist.
George Villiers was actually a very powerful figure in the court of King James first. He was sort of allegedly his lover, actually, kind of partner. And Mary was George's mother. She was from a minor aristocratic family, and she sort of positioned her son to sort of enter the court. And they both of them ended up being buried at Westminster Abbey, so they kind of went from nowhere to like right in the center of power. This is historical fiction, so it's not exactly true, but it's based on true events.
Yeah.
And it's really about their relationship and their rise to power in Jacobean England. And I am not English. I was the only one. I know, that's right.
You were the only one.
I was the only American in the cast, which was kind of
was that a lot of pressure?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, you kept it daytime.
Yeah, I was like, I kept it daytime. I was definitely, I was really nervous about that. That's hard.
You went there and lived there for a minute, right?
Well, we were there. It was a long shoot, so I think we started pre-production in December, started shooting in January, and I didn't leave until, I think, the end of April. They kept going for a couple of months, but I shot my stuff in that period of time. But it was long. It was a long time to be away.
It's beautifully shot.
Oh, thanks,
The story is, first of all, I watched this whole thing just feeling blessed that I was born in the 80s and not this time period.
Right, it's rough.
Because it doesn't matter who you are, the king or a servant, like it's just a hard time to exist.
Yeah.
And her character, you're like you play human chess.
Yeah,
like
she does.
Yeah.
And she's very direct. She's really ambitious. She's kind of, like I said, there's almost nothing that she doesn't say. Everything, she just says what she's thinking.
It's refreshing.
And you feel like she has nothing to lose. And she's really trying to position her son. She feels like he's like her proxy. He can do everything that she's not going to be able to do as a woman during this time period.
Oh,
so
I love that line.
Make the most
if I were you, I'd run the world.
That's right.
I love that line.
Yeah.
Is it fun to play a character like this? Because you make someone that is, has some very unlikable decisions. You make me love her.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is hard.
She's rough, but she's very unapologetic about herself. And I think there's something fun about that, because I don't know that most of us feel that way, that we're really able to be blunt about what our desires are. And she's very, very direct.
Yeah. Are you on set? Are you one of those actors that is like in the zone the whole time, or do you break and like are very chatty?
I'm never in the zone. Nope.
Never in the zone. You're a chatty Cathy.
I'm always talking, and I want to talk about like what the weather is like and what the traffic was like on the way to work.
Do you kind of need to do that?
I think it's my way of relaxing. Probably it is.
Yeah.
It's my way of connecting with people. Like I want to feel like the energy that we have in the room we bring into a scene or whatever. Also, it should be fun.
Yeah.
I think that what we do is pleasurable. I mean, you probably feel that way about singing too, right? That you like it.
Yeah, especially when you're doing it right.
Yeah, right.
There are days when you're like, not right now. Nope.
You always do it right.
Yeah, you're very kind. Well, today is Wednesday, and I heard that you have, is it Women Crush Wednesday?
I do Women Crush Wednesday.
What is this?
Well, so that's kind of a thing on Instagram, Women Crush Wednesday, and I've been working for a long time with Everytown for gun safety, and I wanted to find a way to elevate and spotlight a lot of the women that I've met who are working with Moms Demand Action and Students Demand Action, because I've met some really incredible people. A lot of them have suffered tremendous loss or have been through real trauma. They've lost children or have been in shootings themselves. So every Wednesday, I feature somebody who's involved in the organization, and I talk about what they've done.
For like reform.
They work on legislation for gun safety.
Yeah.
And often, and it's just important that people acknowledge the work that this is Moms Demand Action is the largest grassroots organization in the country. It was formed right after Sandy Hook, and it's just been incredible the kind of work that they've done. And I think particularly for parents, for a mother, when I became involved in this, I felt like if I wasn't doing anything to change gun safety, to change gun laws in this country, it wasn't really protecting my children.
Yeah.
So I felt like, and I think a lot of these women feel the same way.
Yeah. It's a shame that politicians and politics get in the way, because I'm a gun owner and I believe that there still should be reform.
Absolutely.
I feel like there should be things that are set in place. I think that you should be required to go to a course. I think that you should only be able to get certain ones. So I think I think people think it's so divided, and it's not. And I think people use it to play chess.
I think so too.
It's unfortunate because then we lose so many people.
That's right, because this is really about our safety.
Yeah.
This is not about ownership or anything like that. It's about if when you have a right, you also have a responsibility.
Yeah.
And I think that's what responsible gun owners believe.
I agree. I'm just saying, I love that you do this, because I think most people that own guns have no, like, or it's just a hard line. I'm like, that's not most gun owners that I know.
Listen, I grew up, you know, in the military, and so there's a lot of respect around weapons.
I grew up in the South as well.
So
that's,
so it's the same kind of thing. And I feel like, I think that you're right. I think it's politics that have changed things, and it's really divided people. And I don't believe that we are divided on this issue. I really don't.
No, I think people use it to play chess. But speaking of games, do you like games?
Of course.
Okay. If you said no, you'd still have to play. Yeah, we're going to play a game next. We need to take a quick break, y'all. Yeah. You can see Julianne's show, Mary and George, on Stars. It's amazing. You got to check it out. New episodes air Fridays. We've got a game coming up next. We'll be right back.